What does Bill Belichick and Mac Jones need to do in order to win this football game?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that they have to control the time of possession and they have to limit their turnovers. Going into this game, I think the biggest thing is, with Mac Jones in the offense, they have to make sure that they just control the pace of the game. And the biggest thing that I see as far as New England's offense goes is they have to control the line of scrimmage. If they can get a good push with the offensive line to open up running lanes for Damian Harris or Ramondre Stevenson, that's going to be huge for the Patriots moving forward. And then you would have to think that with Mac Jones in the pocket, if he's able to get a clean pocket for the majority of the game, he's going to be able to exploit some holes in that Indianapolis Colts defense. Now, that's on the offensive side of the ball. The defensive side of the ball, it's going to be a lot trickier because the way that I see it, Indianapolis has arguably the best offensive line in the entire NFL. And the reason why I say that is because look at the success that Jonathan Taylor has had this season. He is running away with the rushing yard leader this year as far as just leading the league in rushing yards. And it's not even close at this point. And it's in large part due to what that offensive line has been able to do as far as just opening up run lanes for Jonathan Taylor to exploit. That is going to be absolutely pivotal in that line of scrimmage battle between the Colts O-line and the Patriots defensive line. And there have been many times where New England has been exposed as far as their run defense goes. And this is one of those matchups where I think that if the Colts offensive line controls the line of scrimmage against that Patriots front four, it is going to be a long day for that Patriots defense because I think Jonathan Taylor, Naheem Hines, they could definitely have some pretty solid days as far as their production goes against New England. Now, when you tie all those factors together, this is going to be a very competitive game. I don't think this is going to be a game where either team really runs away with it as far as a blowout goes. But I do have to favor New England in this one just because I do think that Bill Belichick is going to be able to slow down that Colts running attack. I think they're going to stack the box. They're going to force Carson Wentz to beat them. And we've seen Carson Wentz have a pretty solid year, but he has had some moments where he's made some horrendous mistakes, and it has cost the Indianapolis Colts some games this year. So I don't have a lot of faith that Carson's going to be able to execute in critical moments of the game if New England's able to take Jonathan Taylor away from that run game as far as the Colts offense goes. So it's going to be a tricky situation for Indianapolis to try to get Carson into good situations for him to execute properly. But with the way that I see New England winning a close one. I don't think this is going to be a blowout. Like I said, I'm looking at a 28-24 score for New England. This would be a huge road win for them. It would maintain their number one seed in the AFC, but it is going to be a competitive game, and I'm looking forward to this one. This is going to be a great game between the Patriots and the Colts. There's no doubt about that.
So normally in our history, at least in my lifetime, a lot of the Colt Patriot games as of recent have been competitive battles. I mean, excluding the fourth down escapade with that fake punt, whatever the hell happened a few years back, and of course the AFC Championship with the Flakegate, which didn't matter because what was it, What was his name, Sonny Gray or whatever?
Jonas Gray, but
Jonas
that
Jonas Gray.
yeah, Jonas Gray.
Like nothing made a difference. They ran all over us. All actually that Jonas Gray game was not the AFC
That was
Championship game.
those were two different games.
Two different games. Nevertheless, they're normally really really good games. Is the point I was trying to make. But of course, I actually forgot that we got our asses handed to us a couple of times in those games. So I retract my statement. It's been a little bit inconsistent on our part. So what I'm looking for here is Frank, listen with me. Look at me. Work with me. Think. Just focus. Run the fucking football. I get it. They gonna stack the box, bro. If they put 11 motherfuckers in the box, run the fucking football. Just give it a chance. You know what I'm saying? Just don't. I've been saying this to Kyle since the matchup was on the calendar, since the schedule was made, and we made the move for Carson Wentz. Do not try to outcoach Bill Belichick. No coach in NFL history has been able to do that. Oh, well, he's lost in the Super Bowl 3 times. That's not getting outcoached. One was an absolute shootout where there was no defense played. One was a catch on a helmet, and the other one was a catch falling out of bounds with feet like tapping in. Two of the greatest catches in arguably Super Bowl history. So it takes a lot to beat this guy. You know what I'm saying? And it took a Philly, a fake play to go and take a lead in a Super Bowl to go out and do what they did. Once again, the point of the matter is there is no coach that can out-coach Bill Belichick. Stick to your guns. This is going to be purely and solely a battle of the trenches. Who will dominate the line of scrimmage? The Patriots have a great pass rush with Matt Judon and the rest of that cast, and they also have capable and honest-worthy corners with Jesse Jackson, right? That's his name?
J.C. Jackson.
J.C. Jackson, who leads the NFL in interceptions with Trayvon Diggs. So it's not like they don't have talent in all levels. You know, they definitely have the availability to go out there and make plays happen on that side of the football. So Carson has to take advantage, read the defense. If New England decides to play man coverage, take advantage where you can. And if they play zone, poke holes in the zone where you can. But as Kyle already reiterated, it's going to be a run-heavy focused game. It has to be. Because if it isn't, I'm not gonna be okay. I'm gonna be on vacation that weekend, so watching the game is gonna be a little bit difficult. Guys, it's my brother's 21st birthday. I'll watch what I can on my phone wherever we are, but it's gonna be difficult. The point of the matter is, if we don't run the football assertively, if Jonathan Taylor doesn't have 25 to 35 touches in terms of carries, I'm gonna be pissed. Now, again, this kind of falters into the side of, well, if the defense is giving up 21 points out there to Mac Jones and their running attack, then of course we're not going to be able to run the football because we're going to be down. So if it ends up falling into the hands of Carson Wentz, I lose confidence. I'm actually predicting us to lose this football game because I do not believe that Frank Reich can call a consistent game. And I know that sounds negative, and I know that sounds like I'm giving up on my team. And I said the same thing about Buffalo. But they surprised me, and they ran Jonathan Taylor almost 30 times. He had 5 touchdowns. When you do that, you win. And at the time, Buffalo statistically had one of the best defenses, if not the best ranked defense in the NFL. And that showed Frank, hey, we got to keep doing that. But then you go and you play Tampa a few weeks later and you forget how to do that. So it's like, this is what I'm talking about. When we play good teams, it's hit or miss. We're also 3-4 at home this season. We've also blown 3 10-point games this season alone. So excuse me if I have a lack of faith in my favorite football team when I don't believe that our head coach is capable of calling a straightforward game. So we win the game, in my opinion, if Jonathan has almost 30 carries, if not more. We lose the game if Carson's throwing the ball 45 to 50 times. I don't see that as a successful formula. I also don't see this defense being able to stop the committee that New England has back there with Damian Harris and Stevenson and Brandon Bolden. And of course, obviously Mac Jones being able to be a great game manager is another piece that is just, I feel like slept on in New England. I feel like he's doing a very good job with all of the pressure that he's had on his shoulders. But yeah, I agree with Kyle. I think this game's going to falter to about maybe a 7. I think it's going to be a 7 to 10 point game, maybe 30 to 20, 31-21, something of that magnitude. I genuinely have no faith in Frank Reich. And it's sad because the talent on this football team is absolutely incredible. We arguably have the best running back in the NFL. We arguably have one of the best offensive lines in football. We have one of the most above averages in terms of defenses in the NFL. And all of these pieces are only getting older, and I feel like their careers are just being wasted. We also I'm not confident in, I don't believe that our special teams is going to be able to capitalize. Just lately, I don't know, with Bagley, he missed a couple of field goals and extra points the last 2 weeks or so. So I'm a little nervous there, but we'll see what happens on that front.